So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why you should invest in property in the UK. I'll explain the pros and cons and why I think it's a good bet. And by the end of the video, you should know or be able to make your own decision as to whether you want to invest in the UK property market as it is now. It's currently 2020 and we're in the current coronavirus pandemic. So I will touch on that, but I'm not going to include that in the reasons because the reasons are pre-COVID. So let's get started. I've been fortunate to live both in the UK and the US, and I invested in property both in the UK and the US and actually in Europe, places like Bulgaria. So I bought property to hold. I bought commercial property in Bulgaria. I've bought commercial property in the UK and the USA, and I've also bought property to flip. So we bought and sold houses and, as they will call it in America, we've rehabbed them. So why do I think if you're a UK viewer that you should stick to the UK? Okay, well, first thing is we're an island, so we're not making any more land. We've got what we've got, and that's it. Okay, so if you look at places around the world like Hong Kong, okay, so Hong Kong is highly populated, Hong Kong Island, highly populated, and there's, you can't make any more land. In fact, they built the airport in the sea because there wasn't any space to build the airport. So if you just look at constraints of property and, geography, just like Hong Kong Island, there's nowhere left to build, so they have to build up. Okay, so you've got skyscrapers and high-rise apartment blocks and things like that. But anyway, we're not talking about Hong Kong, so back to the UK. So the UK, we're an island. We've got lots of farmland and greenbelt land that the government haven't released for building on. And it's very difficult to get greenbelt released. Okay, so forget that. Take it as that whatever green belt there is, it's not going to be released. So the point I'm getting to is we're on a small island and we have got quite a large population for the island that we're on. So a few reasons. First of all, you'll know the legal system. Okay, so you can deal with solicitors that know the UK legal system. You're in the UK, so you'll be dealing with UK banks and UK solicitors. If you buy a property in Spain or anywhere else in the world, you've got to deal with people that don't necessarily know the law, or you've got to deal with solicitors that say that they know the USA law or Spanish law or wherever it may be. Perfect example is years ago, there was a big craze for people buying property in Cyprus, northern Cyprus, I think it was. There's this land dispute going on with the northern Cypriots and the southern Cypriots, okay? I don't know the ins and outs, I've never bought over there, but all I know is that there were some British people that bought property in Cyprus, and then a few years later they found out that what they paid for, they didn't actually own, okay? Terrible, yeah? Hundreds of thousands of pounds people were losing, okay? In the UK, the good thing about the UK is we basically created the law that most of the Western world follow, okay? So that the law in the UK is historically written by us and other countries have adopted it. So when you're dealing with other countries, we can't be sure of their legal systems. Even if they're in the EU, you can still never be sure. Okay, so back to the UK. So we've got a stable legal system, okay? We've got all properties are registered with the Land Registry. So there's no arguing who owns what, okay? So we've got a stable legal system, Land Registry, and we've got banks and lenders in the UK that you can deal with, okay? If you're dealing with people abroad, it's far more difficult. You try to open a bank account in America, you can't open one unless you physically go into the bank. The other thing is that although America, for example, has some easier ways to buy property and more creative ways to buy property, it's a lot more difficult if you're not in the country. So anyway, my advice would be, particularly if you're starting out, stick to the UK. You can go and visit the property, you can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it, it's tangible. If there's any problems with the property, you can drive to it. Most of the UK, you can drive within a few hours. So, and there's trains and planes. So that's the practicalities of buying. So that's why I would always buy, or I would always recommend if you're starting out to buy in the UK. Secondly, are prices going to drop? Personally, I don't think so. And when I say drop, I don't mean are they going to drop within this pandemic? Yes, we might see a slight fall, but I mean generally over history, have prices dropped? No, they haven't. If you look at prices going all the way back from like when we first started recording property prices, you've got even through the downturns like in 1991 recession, prices took a dip, but then they came back up again. Even in 2008 and 9, prices took a dip, but then they came back again. So if you look at where they were, down here, and where they are now, they've constantly gone up in value. Okay, it might have gone like this, but it's gradually, gone up in value. And typically, if you look at the history, prices double every 10 years. Now, we can't say that about other countries. Okay, there are other countries where, I've invested in Bulgaria, for example, lost my money or lost a lot of money. Okay, property prices there are now, they're never gonna go back to what they were before. It was almost like a boom, a fad, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so UK prices historically do not fall, do not drop. Okay, over the long term they always go up. So it's a very good investment. In the USA, you've got prices that, okay, they have gone up in the last boom, but generally prices in the USA don't go up as much as they do in the UK. And that's also the same for lots of European countries. Okay, you can go to France and there are prices you can buy, chalets in France for 60,000 euro, but they were also 60,000 euro 10 years ago, so you haven't got the gain there. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certain places in the UK where prices haven't necessarily increased. Okay, I'm not going to mention any names, but there are certain areas in the UK where prices are probably what they were 10 years ago, and they haven't really gone up that much, maybe by a few £1,000s. But generally speaking, we're a safe country, we've got a great legal system, it's safe to buy UK property, and as long as you've got your numbers right, remember I always say that the profit is in the buying, okay? So as long as you bought at the right price, you're not going to go wrong. You'll always be able to rent property in the UK, so the other reason that I like the UK is that there's a shortage of rental properties, okay? There are people that want to rent all over the UK. If we put a property up for rental, within 20 minutes, we've got 50 people wanting to move in. Now, what we've tried to do in the past to suppress that demand is we've increased the price. So if we were going to rent for £600, we think, okay, we don't want to be dealing with 50 people, so we'll increase it to £700. All that happens is you just get half the amount of people. So 25 people might apply. The point I'm trying to make is there's a demand for rental property. So you can buy property. It's a safe country. It's a safe legal system. We've got no pending civil wars. Okay, so it's very safe. You can, or you've always got an exit. Okay, so you'll always be able to sell the property. If you try and sell something in Cyprus, for example, then there's always that question about, do I own it, don't I own it? If you try and sell something in Spain, I'm not particularly choosing any countries in particular, I'm just saying that, anywhere that you don't know, well, you don't know what you don't know, okay? So stick to the UK is my advice. There's plenty of opportunities and there's plenty of profit, there's plenty of investments to be made. It's a great country to invest in. You're local, you can go and visit it, you can go and see it, you can touch it and feel it. If you're going to refurb it, you can deal with the builders easier, you can get on a train or drive there if it's in your local area and see the builders. So that's my advice, guys. So just to recap, we covered why should you invest in the UK property market, and I've given you some pointers and my recommendations as to why I think the UK is the best place to invest in property. So give me some feedback, guys. What do you think? Is that where you're thinking of investing, or are you thinking of investing in other places? Now, there's some popular places that people are talking about: Dubai, the USA, obviously holiday homes in warm countries like Spain or the south of France. So what is it that you're thinking? What is it? Have you had any experience with dealing with properties abroad, and have you had any bad experiences? Let's see some comments if you have. Let's see what you've done. So don't forget to like and share these videos if you think that anybody else will be interested in listening to this content, or if you know of anybody that's thinking of investing in property and they're not quite sure whether they should invest here or abroad, share the video, share the link, send it to them. So don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Put any comments below. I do read every comment and I do reply to every comment, and I will make more videos. That's all for me, guys. See you next time.